Yeah, but what about black people? This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And I figured I'm going to have to go Michael Jackson on him. Am I black or white? Something, I don't know. I don't know words to it, to be honest with you. I thought it was just a cool song. But nonetheless, the reason I'm going black and white is because that's what the Democratic Party makes politics about. They always talking about black people or white people, or, sometimes they like to, switch it up and just say people of color, whatever that means. I mean, the last I checked, it was improper to say colored people, but yet they call us people of color. Not to mention, I don't recall the black community becoming outraged and demanding that we now get thrown into the category of people of color. They just decided at some point, why don't we throw them into people of color? Wonder why they did that. In fact, they do a lot of things without consulting with black communities, with black people. They don't really care. They figure they know what's best for black people. Come on now. Remember, they're the champions against racism, discrimination, and all of that stuff. And they just love black people. See, I don't recall us ever complaining about being called black. But I guess some white liberals somewhere say, you know what would be a better title for them? African American. I didn't know that was a big problem in the black community either. But apparently, the liberal PC culture knows what's best for black people and other minorities. But what I'm a little curious about as I watch every day, for the last, God knows how many years, black people are so disenfranchised, they're so underprivileged, they're so attacked. All of this racism and stuff is holding them down. I've heard that for God knows how many years coming out of the Democratic Party, including Kamala, Chameleon Harris, and creepy, sleepy, sloppy, sleazy, slimy Joe, and the liberal media. But for some reason, all of their policies never include black people. So I just want to know, what about black people? I mean, the last I checked, when Nancy Pelosi and all of them were talking about the stimulus package because of, what's going on right now, the pandemic, they mentioned a lot of groups, but not black people. I mean, they talked about giving money to the illegal immigrants. They talked, we can't forget about that historical monument, that museum that needed money, all of that, raises for them, all of those things, talked about all that stuff. But as I was flipping through, I didn't see nothing about black people. But y'all talk about black people all the time. Y'all use all of our calamities. Y'all use all of the tragedies that come out of black communities and stuff. And the only time I hear y'all talk about black people is when one of them gets shot by a police officer. So my question, Democrats, what about black people? Huh? Yeah, man. During pandering season, y'all come out and give false, promises or even potential promises of reparations and all of that stuff. But yet, when I look at Kamala, Chameleon Harris, and creepy, sleepy, sloppy, slimy Joe and their policies, nothing about their agenda includes black people. Yeah, they talk about the Native Americans, how they got to give them this and that, and we got to recognize them. And I'm scrolling like any second now, I'm going to see black people. But wait a minute, we're not in. Hold up. Excuse me. Y'all must have left us out. Of course they did. They always do. Because they don't feel like they got to do anything for black people. They're like, you know what? I noticed you caught that. But see, we just assume you guys are on board and loyal to us. So why would we include you in any of this stuff? Just trust us, though. We love you guys. We just love black people. And I'm starting to wonder. I mean, heck, we had a first black president and all of the black folks said, that's what I'm talking about. We finally got us a brother in the White House. How y'all like that? Black, white. You got a White House with a black president. He gonna hook us up, but he didn't. He hooked up, let me think of the LGBTQYYXZ negative / semicolon group, but not black people. I don't even recall any legislation that was even thrown out there that would even suggest it was directed solely towards uplifting the black man, the black woman, black communities. Why have they left us out? Is it so? Maybe they be forgetting. I think that might be what it is. They just be forgetting about us. See, what about how when all these illegal immigrants come across, you know, they are quick to run to their aid. And it's strange how they just throw these illegal immigrants who willfully come here right into the same category as us black people. Yeah, they just go ahead and mix us all together. You all are people of color, therefore you all have the same background and struggle and plight. That means all of you black people should support our agenda with helping these illegal immigrants and their fight against all of this oppression and systemic racism and xenophobia. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. That ain't got nothing to do with black people. But you want us to get on board with that? Now, hold up. Y'all drug us over here. And I'm talking about the Democratic Party. Those slave masters brought us against our will. But these illegal immigrants are coming on their own. So now why do y'all want us to get on board with this? All of these agendas don't help black people. Where do you think they shuffle these people into? Their neighborhoods? You think these folks are on Nancy Pelosi's lawn? You think they posted up outside of crying Chuck Schumer's crib? But yet they advocate for all of them to come. And what jobs they compete for? Not Nancy's job. Not Mad Maxine Waters' job. Not AOC's job. They compete with a whole bunch of black people. But yet the Democrats love black people so much that they invite us to help them replace the lacking black vote because they were just so reliant on it. And they're like, these black people are kind of lazy. They don't come out all the time to vote. So we better ensure our voter base by bringing in illegal immigrants and at some point giving them some type of citizenship, amnesty, ability to vote. So, hey, black people, will you help us in our plight to replace you? What? You want us to mention you in some of our policies? You know, we're getting to it. We're getting to it. Trust us. Yeah, but we don't hear nothing about it. We don't hear nothing about what they're going to do for black people. What have y'all done for us lately? Dun, 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 dun. Y'all don't even consider us when it comes down to making decisions. Just like they decided we're going to start calling them African American. Now we're going to go ahead and start calling them people of color. They make choices for the black community that we don't have any say-so in. You know, I'm sitting there scratching my dome right now, and I'm going, now, wait a minute. So you're telling me 81% of black people said, whoa, what y'all talking about? Getting rid of the police. Nah, man. We want either the same amount of police in black neighborhoods or more, okay? But what did they do? I know you guys think that's the best thing for you, but trust us. Even though we don't live in your neighborhoods and deal with the issues that you all deal with and only come around when every blue moon a white cop shoots and kills a black person, preferably during an election season. But nonetheless, we do show up during that time. And we understand that the police are not your friends. And it's all stemming from systemic racism and folks who don't control your city. It's us who control it. But somehow, this systemic racism is coming from folks in some other states, the president, this senator, that has nothing to do with our state. But based on knowing this, we're going to go ahead and get rid of the police. As if that doesn't make the black community less safe. Yeah, see, I guess they know what's good for us black people. Do you think all of those drug dealers and gang members would sit back and say, well, darn it, man, you mean to tell me they're getting rid of police officers in the black community? That's messed up, man, because you know what's going to happen now. All of us are going to have to just govern our own moral behavior. So just out of nowhere, I better stop dealing drugs and gang banging and shooting because since the police is no longer showing up, because that was the problem. See, I was only a criminal because I had to fulfill my role as the criminal and they had to fulfill their role as the police. It was old school cops and robbers type thing. But I don't have a nemesis now, so I mean, heck, I guess I better go straight and narrow. You think that's going to happen? Who is that going to impact? Who? Black people. But the Democrats didn't get our opinion about that. No. They just went ahead and said, let's do it. Yeah, forget the results. They never consult with us about these things. Isn't that kind of crazy? Let me think. Wait a minute. Maybe I overlooked something in regards to how much the Democrats just love black people. Now, I know it may look like they're making these choices without consulting black people, taking in consideration all the violence and the crime and the folks that are being killed in their neighborhoods, not by police, but by other black people, disregarding their broken down schools and all of those things. Even though it might look like they're doing that, no, they're not doing that. They're working on the back end, behind the curtains. Yeah, man, they're working on something real big. I think what they're really trying to do is work on, wow, you know what? Actually, I'm having a hard time coming up with something they're working on behalf of us black people. Wait a minute. All right, it's going to come to me. All right, let me see. They are working on, give me a minute. I'll get right back to y'all because it's kind of hard. I got to go do some research on it. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay. I got it. I know it took me a second to look up something that the Democrats include black people in, or at least it focuses on the black community, because normally they just be pimping us out for votes. But on this occasion, they was really thinking about black people. It was police reform. That's what it was. Now, how could I forget that? I mean, all of this hubbub going on and them using George Floyd's death that they couldn't remember his name. Joe Biden, they put George on that curb, and Nancy Pelosi, George Jetson, and we want to make sure that bill is passed with George Jetson's name. Yeah, even though they couldn't remember his name, and they used that tragedy to pander towards black people, I'm sure they were sincere about dealing with systemic racism in the police force. That is why when, Congressman Tim Scott came to them and said, let's do some police reform, they were all excited. They jumped at the opportunity. Oh, wait. That's not true. I think it was Kamala Harris walked away from the negotiations. I think it was the Democrat Party who claimed they love black people, and they just want to see more, unity and community policing and, policemen being accountable about all the systemic racism. I guess for whatever reason, even though they told them they could have as many as amendments as they kept coming back asking for, that wasn't enough for them. Maybe they put that priority on the back end and said, don't worry, brothers. Don't worry, y'all brothers and sisters. We still got your back. Remember, they're racist and we're not, and we love black people. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Race Baiters, identity politics people. I know you say you love black people, but is there any policies or anything? Because I know that Donald Trump is investing a lot of money in opportunity zones, and also moving forward, if he gets reelected, he's already promised some more billions of dollars for the black community. Anything in your proposals or legislation? Nothing? Okay. All right. What about for black colleges? Because remember, Joe Biden the other day said that he got his start in a black college, which I'm scratching my head and wondering if that's true. But nonetheless, is there anything in there for them? Because I know that Donald Trump passed, he gave their budget to them for years to come, because they used to have to keep coming back and stuff, and they were going broke. But Donald Trump got in, there you go. You're good for years to come. So anything in there about nothing? Okay. All right, wait a minute like that. Okay, what about prison reform? Because remember, Mrs. Kamala Harris, you're supposed to, wait, are you black or are you Jamaican or are you Indian? I don't know what you're, but nonetheless, that doesn't matter. See, I know that you got on TV the other day talking about how you support and love black people, and you were a prosecutor. You laid down the law, and you sure did. You laid it down real hard and heavy on black people that did the same thing that you were on TV boasting about. And you said that you're going to implement this style of legislation throughout the whole United States, which if that's true, you're going to be locking brothers up again. Is it true that you withheld information for a man that was on death row? That's probably just a rumor because you just love black people. And then, of course, Mr. Creepy, Sleepy, Sloppy, Slimy, Sleazy Joe, I have a question as a black person. I want to know about that crime bill that you passed. Remember that, huh? The one that you work with segregationists with, and the one that Kamala Harris accused you of being a racist, but for some reason now all that racism kind of flushed out of your system. See, it's flushed out of the system, and now you're back, you're back. But she put aside all that anger and animosity and division to work with you now. But anyway, now we don't want to talk about that. But that crime bill put a whole bunch of brothers in jail. Now, only thing I could think of that you've done for black people is lie about them and all of your efforts to bring forth all this unity and civil rights. And the other one was passing a bill to lock them up. So my question is, if systemic racism is running rampant and you're here to fix all of that and be the champions for black people because you love black people, how do you rectify or justify that bill who locked a whole bunch of people up? Because that sounded systemically racist to me. I'm just saying, Mr. Creep, Sleep, Slop, Slime. So can you tell us a little more besides just accusing everyone and everybody around as racist, sexist, misogynist? Could you tell us a little more of how we all fit in a diabolical scheme of the Democratic Party outside of y'all telling us that we're victims, should be mad, impulsive, emotional, and violent when it comes down to these so-called protests? Anything else that we fit into besides being used as chess pieces on the board to push an agenda for the left and to destabilize the whole country through unnecessary violence? Anything else you can include us in besides making uneducated, uninformed black people get mad for nothing? No? Okay, so then I'm left with the question, what about black people? Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. All these folks out here voting, I hate Donald Trump. And Joe has done nothing for black people. Neither has Kamala. All of the things they've done for black people turned out to be negative. And yet, y'all gonna vote for them. So before I go, my question to any black person is mad for nothing and think Trump's a systemic racist, white nationalist, xenophobe in the White House, please tell me, name one policy that negatively targeted and impacted black people that came from Trump. I'll wait. And I ain't talking about that made up stuff you hear off of CNN and MSNBC, all that stuff. I'm talking about something real. I'll wait. But I got a feeling I'm going to be waiting a long time. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. Check me out every Wednesday night live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, my radio blog talk show, where I do a live show. Have a great time, too. Also, check out the link below to Kevin's Corner Uncensored. You'll just see it as KCuncensored. Yeah, man, I'm still going to be doing videos. I'm putting them on YouTube, but you know, my own site is going to give me some flexibility that YouTube just ain't going to give me. I'm going to be able to just go off, get buck wild on some of these topics and say some things that I can't say on this platform. So you still will find me here, but if you really want to, you want to feel me, give one of these, go ahead and subscribe to my other channel. The link's below. It's a small monthly fee, and I'm talking small, okay? Now, if you broke, you can't afford it, I understand. If you can, great. It'll help me out because we're still working on the platform. We want it to grow. We want to add a lot of different features to it, but we need your help to do it. And if you can't do it, I understand. If you are a person that watches my YouTube channel and want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, since I am doing this full time now, thanks a lot, China. But anyway, nonetheless, I'd appreciate it. Link below to do that as well. Check out Extreme Tees. All right, if you like their products, put Kevin in the promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. All right, God bless. God bless America. And don't forget about black people. Take care.